Hi everyone, Simon from Goodwood Health Club. So today's subject heading is going to be on nutrition. I've put together some 5 areas which we can all start to make healthy changes within our life. So it is a huge subject area. The web is full of lots of information with lots of experts giving us different guidance and necessarily not for the good. Now, while we can cipher through all of this, we can do one thing, which is start to review what we're doing. So clients always come to me asking about what are the best changes they can do for them. It's worth noting, as a personal trainer, we are here to advise and guide. So necessarily what I will do is look at a food diary to see what they're currently doing and seeing if I can make some changes for them. Now, if you do have any underlying health issues, it's worth going to seek help through your GP or going off to find a nutritionist or dietitian if you have a specific need. So let's come back to habits. Why are habits important? Because if something doesn't become a habit, we're not likely to continue doing it. So when we look at these 5 areas in a second, we want to make sure that these changes that we start to make, healthy alternative changes that we make, start to become habits. It's also worth noting, yes, obesity is on the rise. There's lots of evidence out there from the World Health Organization that actually doesn't mean that the nation is doing a lack of activity or that we're over-consuming calories. Yes, we are probably consuming the wrong types of foods, which we'll talk about in a second. And remember, by reducing your calories doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to lose weight. So, let's look at these 5 points. Sugar. For me, this is our hidden enemy within our foods. Now, I want you to take this on board and start to have a look at the products that you're consuming. Have a look at the food labels and start to, if you wish, research all the types of sugars that are in that food product. Now, believe it or not, there's over 1,000 different names for sugar. You'll come across dextrose, fructose, cane corn syrup, but there's many more hidden within that food label. Now, advertising and marketing are very clever with our food products by making them look healthy, whether that's the colour of the product or whether it's because it's got some fancy picture on, so it leads us to think it's healthy. And remember that low-fat products doesn't mean this is a healthy option for us at all. Remember, when we come to this sugar, this hidden enemy within our food, is lots of clients say to me, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut completely sugar out. Now, by cutting sugar out completely, it can cause problems further on. My suggestion is remove 1 or 2 things within your daily food intake and start to replace them with healthier alternatives. Not only will this help you, it will keep you at a more level playing field rather than completely crashing and getting headaches and so on. So don't cut things out, start to reduce slowly and replace them with better options. Second point, glycemic index. Now, big area. Again, have a little research further if you wish, but the basics are that we're rating foods on a glucose format from 0 to 100 being the highest. Now, what this is doing, for example, a high 100% glycemic foods are giving us peaks of blood sugar spikes and then dropping us back down. So what we're trying to do is start to research foods that are not going to give us these highs and try and, again, like we said, level us out so we've got a level playing field. High types of foods, your white rice from white pasta, so these white carbs that give us this kind of sugar format into our bloods to give us energy, so this glucose response. Now it is worth noting that long-term effects of this peak and trough is that it's not good for us long-term. Our body actually becomes resistant to this. Let's just take, for example, weight loss. We find that we start to reduce, first of all, our calories down, which we've discussed. We then find points of sugars that take us up, so we're eating high glycemic foods. We then approach training. We may well have energy for that session, but we find later on in the day that we hit a crash. So resolving factors, I'm going to talk about this in point 4 to help you with point 2. But really, again, big subject area. For this, I want you just to have a little look at your own lifestyle. So a good option for this point here is to start recording a food diary. Start recording down the types of foods that you're eating and if they have a high glycemic response. Also related to the high sugar foods that you might be eating. Now it is worth noting that when you do that food diary is to have something next to it which gives you that response an hour to 2 hours after. How did that make you feel? So did it give you a sustained energy, or did it give you a high amount of energy but you found it dropped off very quickly? Let's look at point 3, so trans fats. Now this is a hydrogenated cooking oil, generally put into processed foods, cakes, donuts, pastries, and I tend to explain it's the thing that stays on the shelf for the longest. Yeah, you can buy it, you can put it in your car, put it on the passenger seat, look at it, 2-3 weeks later, and it looks the same. Bit of an alien product, especially if we're going to put it within our body. Our body's going to go, hey, what's that? So for me, we want to try and reduce these types of foods, so our takeaways, the foods that you pick up on the go, again, that are on the shelves for long periods of time, and swap them out for healthier alternatives. Let's come on to these healthier alternatives. Now we all know we're trying to eat our 5-a-day veg and fruits. It's worth noting that a lot of fruits do tend to have a sugar response, again, which may peak our energy up and then crash us back off again. So be aware of those types of fruits that we're eating, so have a little research. But if we can start to eat more, let's say superfoods is a big word at the moment. Colour, introduce more colour into your life with your vegetables, start to swap up these white carbs for better vegetables. Whole foods is what we're looking to achieve. Again, this is going to help you with your nutrition. Whether that might be snacks, swap out these vegetables and fruits instead of the quick sugar fixes that you're trying to get for energy. Point 5 is what I really want to focus on as well, is hydration. And this really links all of these areas together. Are we hydrated enough? Yes, we can be overhydrated, but for me, I don't think we're drinking enough, especially I speak to my clients a lot when they're training to keep hydrated. It's going to make us perform better, boost our productivity, and lots of other areas which I'm going to discuss. It removes toxins from our body, increases energy, reduces fatigue, enhances our metabolism, and strengthens our immune system. Now, a better way of describing it, I would say 6 to 8 mugs of water. So we're looking around 250 ml, 350 depending on the mug size, to start increasing our hydration. Now, it is a very difficult thing to do. What I would suggest you do is whether you set reminders, whether that's digitally or in your diary, or start to install it into the things that you do daily. And what I mean by that is if you have a coffee, maybe have some water with it. Throughout a day, if you can buy a bottle, one of these reusable bottles, then great, we're saving the environment. But just reminding yourself to drink is really going to help you, number one, with probably not going to sugar fixes. Also, when it comes to meal times, we're probably not going to over-consume too much. We're less likely to get to quick fixes, again, so bad foods that can contain trans fats. And by being hydrated, we're going to be more responsive within our bodies. So, let's just review these subject areas. So first off, what I want you to start to do is build a little food diary. Within that food diary, what I want you to do is just monitor down the types of food that you're eating currently and how are they making you feel. Secondly, with those food diaries, just have a research, have a little look at the glycemic index and the types of foods that you're eating. Are they high or are they low? Start to reduce trans fats within your diet, processed foods, try to get rid of them. Start to introduce more vegetables and fruits within your diet. Swap them out for healthier alternatives. And start to increase your hydration throughout your day. I hope that helps. Remember, here at Goodwill Health Club, we do these reviews to help you out and start to pinpoint areas that you might need help with.